Hello. All right, big updates on our raised beds here at our one of our farms here up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. As you can see, it's a gorgeous, beautiful, cool, slightly rainy day, which is kind of a trip and a good day to be working. But I want to show you guys what's going on with these beds. So before, I think where we last left off with these beds, they were full of weeds, and then we had all this grass and weeds that were growing outside the bed. So we weed whacked all that, and then we threw it all in the beds for green manure, basically like this. And then we let it dry for about 2 weeks. And now we've gone and actually turned that into the soil. So all that green manure has gone now back into the beds. Oh, here's an old sachet from beneficial insects from a few years ago. Get out of here. All right. So anyway, that's going on. So now we've turned that into the soil. Then I need to show you the bags, but we also put, this year we decided to supercharge these beds, sort of replenish the nutrients. So we put in down-to-earth biofish and bone meal. So, and we use the cow bone meal. It's a really good source of calcium and also phosphorus. Really, really good. And you want to put it in the spring, because these are dry nutrients that actually take a few months to actually break down and become bioavailable. And so anyway, these beds are now fully, it's got all the green manure turned in. We've got all the nutrients now added into the soil. We also have these drip irrigation lines that we've had for many years here, and we've tested them. There were a few cuts, so we've been splicing and repairing those. And now we're moving to the final stage. Holy cow, it's raining. Where we now are going to put a nice big, like 6-inch layer of these year-old wood chips. And I want to show you what's going on with these wood chips. And this is, so all of this right here, that's all mycelium. This is like incredible nutrient and bioactivity that's going on. That's going to, so we one at a time are wheelbarrowing these in, and I say we, I'm not doing it anymore. I used to do this for years. I now have, I'll show you, introduce you to our crew who are kind enough to now do a lot of this physical labor that I can't really do as much now. I end up hurting myself because I'm old and feeble. But anyway, so dumping wheelbarrows and wheelbarrows of these chips into these beds, and then the final stage will be then to just spread them around over, and probably about do like 5-inch, maybe even 6-inch layer of wood chips. And what's going to be going on here is now these irrigation lines are going to be underneath the wood chips. So they're going to be totally insulated, and those wood chips will now seal in all the moisture, so we're not going to have to water very much. And also our irrigation lines will stay cool, so they won't be cooking in the sun. And then also another beautiful thing about these wood chips is once we do plant our cannabis in these beds, we'll just, spread the wood chips, plant the cannabis, and then push it back as a mulch layer. But that also breaks a lot of the life cycle for pests, such as thrips, aphids, possibly even. Aphids are different. They're kind of indestructible. I'm not exactly sure on those. We're still figuring out ways to combat them, but we use beneficial bugs to keep the aphids in check. But anyway, having that nice layer of mulch breaks the life cycle of a lot of these pests that use the soil to lay their eggs and then crawl back up the plant. So when you put in the wood chips, it actually breaks that cycle. So anyway, that's what's going on here. And here's some other beds. So we're just doing, piles upon piles of these and then spread them around. These are all oak wood chips from fallen trees on our property, or defensible space, wildfire defensible space trees that we needed to take out. And these have aged for a year. So this, I don't see as much mycelium in here, but it's in there. So you don't want to put brand new wood chips on, because those may be still a little hot and such. So you like to let those age for a year, and then we put them on. Oh, here's a little more. You can see like, oh, and this is what it looks like when it finally gets spread out. In fact, we may put them on a little heavier. But yeah, here's a nice chunk of mycelium as well. So I'll probably just incorporate that in there, make sure that keeps thriving and doing its thing. Oh, here's a little mushroom. Do you see that? So yeah, so there's definitely bioactivity going on in the soil, and yeah, so that's how it's done. So then we're gonna mulch these, and then they're gonna sit for a few weeks, and then come like end of May, so like about 4 weeks from now, we're probably gonna start bringing plants up. So yeah, these beds will kind of get, all the life will get going, they'll get all calibrated and the bioactivity going, and by the time we put the plants in, they should be really living and thriving, and yeah. All right, action photo here. I wanted to show you guys just busting into a new layer of our wood chips. Check that out. See the steam? Yeah. That is called bioactive. Anyway, I'm going to get back to rounding up chunks of mycelium. Okay, and again, a few random shots. We're just trying to share exactly how our farm is run and what we use, and again, want to inspire more people to grow their own cannabis. So what we're doing, yeah, it's on a bit of scale here, but this same exact process can be used for just 3, 4, 5 plants too in your backyard. So anyway, part of the cannabis medicine is growing it yourself. So the more people growing, the better. Anyway, I do not work for these companies at all. Just showing totally transparently what we use for nutrient. And we don't use a ton of this, but just in the spring, we supercharge the beds. So this is down to earth biofish. It is OMRI listed, and for those of you who don't know, that's organic. So every once in a while we do test this as well, just to make sure it's clean, and we've never seen any problems with heavy metals or contaminants or pesticides. And all of our cannabis, if you ever see our lab results for our tinctures, you'll see they test 100% clean. So anyway, and again, I don't work for these companies, I'm just telling you what works. And by the way, most of the legal cannabis in the industry now, a lot of it's just being grown with salt-based fertilizers, sort of synthetic fertilizers. But we still use this type of material. Plus, we use a lot of horse manure compost. We have a horse farm nearby, but you have to be real careful with horse manure. You got to test it to make sure it is clean of pesticides and heavy metals. But luckily, we have a good source for that. But this is bone meal, and this is the cow bone meal. I do not recommend, if you're growing outdoor, to use fish bone meal. It smells really strong, and skunks and raccoons love it, including dogs, and they'll come dig up your beds. But the cow bone meal doesn't have a strong smell. But this, yeah, check out the phosphorus rating. That's your phosphorus, 15. And then a little bit of nitrogen, but also a lot of calcium. Cannabis loves calcium, so highly recommend this. But this comes out, I don't know if there's any left in here, but it's like a powderized, sort of chalky, yeah, it's just ground up cow bones. By the way, cannabis is very carnivorous. It kind of loves eating other animals' decomposing bodies. Anyway, but I don't recommend manures other than the horse manure that we use and test, but seabird guano, so especially guanos, I've tested a bunch of those, the bat guanos and seabird guanos. A lot of them test very high for heavy metals. So I sort of caution people to use those. And then also, fun thing, just went into the wood chip pile, found some chunks of mycelium. So just every wheelbarrow full of chips that we're trucking out to our beds, just gonna chuck a mycelium chunk in there to just make sure we get even distribution of mycelium through the beds. All right, here we go. We have Zach demonstrating. Well, check this out. Is there mycelium in there?
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
let's check this out. So, live mycelium-rich wood chips.
Still warm.
Still warm, still breaking down. These are a year-old wood chips. And then going into the wheelbarrow, it's still a lot of physical labor. But then the wood chips are gonna go in. And by the way, I'm in front of the camera a lot of times, but what's going on here, because I'm old and falling apart, my body. So this is Zach. It's been awesome for a few years working here. Super stoked. Absolutely awesome. This is how things happen. So big gratitude to everyone. And here's Robbie toiling with the wheelbarrow. Check out some more wood chips here. But yeah, this is how things get done. So we do use machines, but also a lot of human blood, sweat, tears, and a lot of love and mycelium. You guys, this is so fucking sappy, but I just want to say thank you and acknowledge you guys publicly that you are invaluable, and all the product that goes out, our tinctures, it's really important to have good energy, good love going into this, and so every single piece of the operation is important to have that right, and you guys have been fucking awesome. So, and you guys are like, shut the fuck up.
No, it's awesome.
Anyway, thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robbie.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
And sorry, I'm an old feeble man and can't do much stuff anymore. Okay, for some reason today I'm feeling nostalgic and kind of sappy, so just bear with it if this is really awkward. I apologize. But I want to explain something that's going on with the cannabis industry, that before Prop 64 and such, I used to spend all of my time farming, like doing all the farming activities. It kept me in shape, it kept me really in tune with the earth, and I still have that connection. But since Prop 64, with all the regulations, I actually spend more time now on a computer and dealing with regulation, with taxes, with all the track and trace, all the paperwork that's involved. And it's kind of alienated me, the farmer, who actually got into farming, to have this connection. And I'm only saying this because I know this has happened to a lot of other farmers, is that I understand there's got to be regulation and such like that, but there has been so much regulation and so much paperwork and so much tedious stuff that we have to do as licensed operators, that what it does is it turns a lot of farmers into actual pencil pushers who are just spending a lot more time dealing with all the paperwork and insurance and all that stuff. So anyway, I am right now, I was feeling kind of like a douchebag for not doing anything here, so I am going to actually do at least one load wheelbarrow of this. I'm going to reclaim my farmingness right now, slightly. And yeah, I've kind of gotten weak and flabby too, because I sit in front of a fucking computer all day now, instead of farming and making the medicine that I got into this for. But anyway, Here we go. Watch me go. All right. Actually, I'm actually going to go in reverse. Anyway, this is what it's all about, actually. It's farming and working and exercising and being outdoors. And it's a beautiful thing. And I almost fell over. And just so this doesn't go on forever, I am going to dump this right here. Because I am kind of a wuss now. But, anyway. You're gonna see me crying over a piece of a wheelbarrow full of wood chips. Been reduced to a pencil pusher. Anyway. Alright, gonna get back to it. See ya. Cool. Hey, productive day here. We got a lot of noise going because we're not stopping. We got a lot to do today. So the tractor's baying, but wanted to show you guys too. This is really, really important. Sorry, it's kind of loud, but this is chicken wire that we put in around the whole perimeter of our entire garden. And this is not to keep out chickens, but keeping out bunny rabbits. You gotta keep the rabbits out. Rabbits love cannabis. They'll come, they'll find your plants when they're about this big and just all the way down. You'll come and find 3, 4, 5, 10 of your plants just eaten down to the base, totally vanished if you don't keep the bunnies out. So anyway, really important. This is chicken wire. Then we bury it under here and throw some logs on it. So anyway, hot tip. Bunnies, they are a real problem for cannabis. So anyway, but wanted to show you these beds here. All done. We got them all chipped in. We got probably actually about 3-4 inches of chips on here. It's a lot of chips to cover all these beds. So we've got a real nice cover. Oh, look at this. We just found bluebelly lizard. Anyway, let him get back to hanging out. It's a cold day, so he's kind of moving slow. Anyway, we love the lizards. They eat all the little bugs. It's gonna get loud again. So anyway, we're gonna sign off, but this is what the beds look like. So these are done. Now we're moving on to some other beds. Cool.